Live. All right, I believe that we are feeding out to the peoples of the world. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. If we're feeding out to the folks out there, you're getting us. Let us know. Hit us up in the chat and let us know how that's going. I think everything's feeding out there so far as I could tell. All right. As I usually do, I'm going to remind everyone here to go to hankstrange.com, sign up for our email list. If you look around the site, we've got lots of different posts on there, things that can help you figure out what different platforms we're on. Like right now, we're broadcasting from Utreon because Utreon lets us show and handle guns while we're going live. And there's a whole bunch of other things on there. If you're looking for links, things that we talk about, all that good kind of good stuff, you could find it over there. All right, that said, big shout out to Walther Arms for sponsoring the podcast. We really do appreciate the support of Walther Arms out there. Check that out. That's my PDP t-shirt. I don't know if you guys have one of these, but you got to have the PDP and the PDP t-shirt at the same time. All right, so listen, let's do this. I'm going to throw Alicia, the BoomStick babe, up in there. What? Wait, that's the wrong camera. Here we go. Boom. There we go. That's a better camera. All right, so let's press the button here and go for the open.
Welcome back to the Hank Strange
All right, guys.
Situation.
Thanks for joining us here. Make sure you
Lifestyles of
smash
the
that
Glock and
subscribe
Lola.
button, smash the thumbs ups, ring the bell, so you can be notified every time we go live from the YouTube.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess you can subscribe. You can do all kinds of things here on Utreon. For the folks joining us wondering, Utreon is kind of like, it's like Patreon. It's like YouTube. So that's it. If you guys want us to explain it, we'll get into that here. Shout out to everyone who's in the chat. Okay, let's do the jazz hands, Alicia. Let's do that. You're not new. You've been here before. Jazz hands. There you go. Alicia's coming in a little broken up. You guys out there, let me know in the chat if I'm coming in broken up as well. Is it me? Is it Alicia? Is it both of us?
Or is it all my fault?
Yeah, we'll work on it. We'll work on it while we're doing the show here. That being said, welcome to the show. I hope you guys have your big girl panties on. This is episode 834 of the Who Moved My Freedom podcast. Like I said, our guest is Alicia, the BoomStick babe. What's up, Alicia? What's going on?
Hi, guys. Hi, world. I'm back.
Yes, you're here. I think some people are happy. LV Louis Cypher, I see him saying, cool, BoomStick babe is on again. There you go.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
I can't see any of the chat. I don't know if it's because.
Oh, so the chat, we sent you a link. And that has, so you have to look at it on Utreon. Don't go open another page right now. I'll let you know what the chat is. But if you do, you can, you can, if you want to, if you have a different device or something, you can go over to Utreon. Just Google Utreon, Who Moved My Freedom, and you will see the podcast. Huh?
Let's do that. Let's do it on my phone.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. You can also watch, listen or whatever. You can use your iPad. If you have an iPad and you use Google Chrome, you can go through that to Utreon and look for Who Moved My Freedom, and you can find it there. Let me see. I'm gonna get some of the. I can't share the chat, but I can shout people out. LV Louis Cypher says Hank is clear. Let's see
it's
what's
all
going
Alicia's
on.
fault.
Yeah, Jade Grew says I'm coming in clear. Cruise Man says it's all your fault. It's all Alicia's fault.
Yeah.
She's a troublemaker. You are just naughty, very naughty, Alicia. Yeah, let's go. We'll deal with it. Some people are having some issues out there. Try refreshing it. That's my advice to anyone that's having issues out there. That's what I would say. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, let us know and we will get to that. I'm trying to see how to adjust. So far as I know, Utreon said sometime tonight. Let me see. I got to go back to my notes here. Lola says the Android app will have live streaming capability late tonight and working tomorrow. iOS will update next week. So next week you'll be able to use iOS.
I'm
and
on
actually...
iOS. I'm on.
Oh, okay. If you have
I'm an Apple captive junkie.
yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm an Apple dude also. So But they're working on folks out there. Utreon's working on folks being able to watch the show live from your phone. So I think Android's going to go up later on tonight, and then what is it, next week? You'll be able to use iOS devices. But if you have an iPad, you can just go on Google Chrome and do it through that. So
all right. Well,
that's
so,
what's that?
Whatever. Sorry. I'm just saying sorry to everybody out there in Utreon world. I can't read a damn thing you're saying, so
right. We'll get it fixed. Listen, as we do this, you'll get it figured out. We'll probably, since people like having you on, if you like coming on, maybe we'll give you your own day, Alicia. Do you want your own day here on the podcast?
I was gonna say something real wrong because I'm so crass. I was gonna say is a pig's pussy pork, but
oh my god, yeah, you crass, no.
Well,
yeah,
I'm gonna grab
who would think such a thing? You're not crass at all. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, stay hydrated, Keep it fresh. Keep it fresh. Yeah, listen, I was so tired when I'm still tired. I was really tired. I was so tired, I asked Lola to make me, some coffee, so she made me some iced coffee. And I was like, man, I hope Alicia is in her normal mood today because it's going to be tough. And obviously, obviously you're in your normal mood, so good. We'll just, yeah.
I went to church today. Apparently the sin is still alive within me.
Oh, you went to church today?
No, I said I haven't went to church today. So.
Oh, okay, because Cruise Man says give her Sunday. Ha ha. We're not here on Sunday, Cruise Man.
I need a whole couple afternoons with Jesus, honey. I think he and I would have some good conversations.
If we actually were on Sunday and you were on, lightning would strike every single time.
I was raised. I was raised very, very, very Catholic, serious Catholic. Mm-hmm. And I grew up, my family's from a small town, Trinidad, Colorado. I know I mentioned this before, but
yes,
it was
you did.
My grandma went to church on Saturday night and Sundays.
Okay.
And then I think she also went on Wednesdays. So, we grew up that way, practicing that way. For the longest time, I wasn't even allowed to have alcohol in my grandma's house. So it was very, very serious. Even to this very day.
Not even for the sacrament.
But
not even for the sacrament.
I'm a rebel.
Oh, okay. I was saying you couldn't have alcohol for the sacrament. Isn't that wine?
I wasn't ever even really allowed to bring booze into my grandma's house.
Okay, I don't blame her.
Whatever. But I always respected my. I did whatever she.
How old were you that you wanted to bring booze into your grandma's house? Seriously.
30.
Oh. Okay. No, I thought you were talking about you're a teenager. Yeah.
No, I was a good kid. I had a really great childhood, honestly. I had a great childhood. It's growing up that sucks when you start having to pay bills and you don't get all the presents that you want for Christmas, all that stuff. Anybody wants to send me presents, I will take them. I have no shame when it comes to that. So it's gift me something. Okay. But I was my grandma's baby, so it was I lived it up as long as I could.
Okay, understood. By the way, the hair's looking good.
Oh, thank you. I combed it.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, is that real? I don't know if you put put some extensions or something up in there. Oh, it's all you. Okay. Yeah, the hair's looking good.
This is that good Spanish blood that runs through.
It's looking nice and curly and bouncy.
I'm no, it's real hair. I barely just realized this in the past 5 years that the hair industry is one of the most expensive industries in the whole world. This is all news to me, like I said, but not just women of color, but white women. White women buy wigs, they get extensions, they get all these fake things done to their hair. If I spend more than $30 on a haircut, I'm out of there.
Really? Okay.
I don't color my hair. I don't dye my hair. I don't do any of that stuff. Whatever. I'm a wash and wear kind of gal. But I didn't realize women are spending $300, $400 on just the hair.
Yeah. Lots of money.
and mingled it with her other hair
Hmm.
and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's a gun.
Yeah.
Like that's a gun. That's a new gun. If I'm spending $300, $400 on something just to, every 8 weeks,
Hmm.
I would have an arsenal rather than spend it on my hair. I'm like, shave it off and, you know,
Yeah. Your image is
go
frozen,
ever,
so I hope.
ever.
Yeah, I hope we're still going through. I know your image is frozen right now. LV Louis
Oh man.
Cipher says gorgeous mane of hair. That's from LV Louis Cipher. You
Oh
know.
yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That one guy likes me. Right on. I have a Venmo. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh. Yeah, it's Venmo at Hank Strange. That's what it is.
Like I
No, just
take money.
kidding.
Let me switch rooms in my house. I'm gonna take
Oh,
you
okay.
with me, but let me
Yeah.
switch rooms in my house, and I'll get like
Yeah,
super
because you're
super
frozen
close
with
to
this look
the
on your face like that.
router.
I don't know if you could, but right
Like
now
hey,
you're
hey,
frozen with this
hey,
look
go
on your face.
away. I
That's
got
just
a face.
funny. um, yeah. Let me take that off before people are like, "What is going on?" That's her. This
Heck, who's he talking to?
tonight. It's not me. That's all I know. It is not me tonight.
I'm gonna take you on a walk
Oh, there you
through
go.
my house if I can get a better signal here and see what
Yeah.
we're doing. We're going on a walk. We're going on a
Yeah.
walk. We don't have anybody
Um.
else to distract you.
Yeah. Whoever's
Let's
on
see.
the internet over there, tell them to get off. You know, if you've got like
Nobody.
security cameras or whatever, any devices that are on the internet, you need to shut those off. All those
Going
drag
down.
the internet down.
Let's see what we got here.
Yeah, you never had it.
We're
You never
going
had
down
internet problems
to
before.
my office. Let's see what we got. Yeah, we've never had problems. So let's see what
No.
we got. Let's see what we can do here. And
Oh,
usually
okay.
it's just get some
Now
light going,
she's
all
in the
that jazz.
darkness now. Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Don't
Yeah.
judge me. Don't judge
Yeah.
me. I'm a
I know
basement dweller.
you took
So
the light off so we can't see anything.
well that's why I wanted to be upstairs is because the light is so much better up there. You know what
Oh,
I'm
okay.
saying?
Yeah.
Down here it's like kind of romantic. There's a
Oh,
lot
so
of
you're
like
far away from the signal. That's probably why though.
yeah, probably what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, you're too far from
But
the
here she
signal.
is. Here she is. Yeah. Let's
Okay.
see what we got
Let's
here.
see.
See what
Yeah.
we can make work here.
Right. By the way, you were talking about you grew up in Trinidad, Colorado. I actually drove through there recently.
Yes.
I
Okay. Where'd you eat? Did you eat there or not?
no. I just kept rolling, but I was on the highway. I'm trying to remember what highway I was on.
While you're talking to me.
Whatever the main highway is out there, I was on that highway driving
I,
through
I,
Colorado. What?
yeah, that was 20. I-25.
Maybe it was that. Yeah, I was going. Does that go south?
It goes north and south. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Trinidad is the last
Yeah.
city
Mhm.
before you go into New Mexico. So
Mhm.
it's exit 13 on highway. It's 13 miles north of the Mexican Colorado border. So yes, it's
Yeah.
the sex change capital of the world.
Oh, is
It
it?
is creepy. Oh yeah, it is creepy. And
Why
I
Trinidad?
don't
Why is
recommend.
Trinidad, Colorado? It just looked like a desert to me when I was driving through.
It's a sex change capital of the world because
Mhm.
Dr. Biber, who grew up there, well, he didn't grow up there. He's the founder of the sex change reassignment surgery, pretty much.
Okay.
So he started
Mhm.
his practice there,
Mhm.
and then that's that. I mean,
Okay.
it started flourishing where he started doing all the sex reassignment surgeries. So, are you getting a
Okay.
better signal from me now?
Well, I'm seeing you. I don't know if we could say that it's better, but you know, we'll take it. We'll deal with it.
Sorry.
We'll deal with it.
All right,
Yeah.
this sucks, guys.
Yeah. If you've
Like,
got other
sorry.
devices that are on the internet, turn off the Wi-Fi on those devices so
Yeah,
they're not.
I don't. They're all off. The
Okay.
only devices I have are
Yeah. LV Louis
you
Cipher
and
says yes. I-25 goes north and south. So
yes.
yeah, LV Louis Cipher,
Yeah.
man, he knows it all. Uh,
He's
so
down with
there
me apparently, so we're cool.
Yeah, I just kept rolling through there. I only stopped to get gas. That's it. I was
You're
like,
not
oh,
missing
Alicia.
much.
I remember it. I was like,
Very
Alicia said she's from around here. I'm gonna keep it moving.
yeah.
I don't want to stay
I wish
here.
you would have called me. I would have driven to meet you if you're driving through my state, man.
Oh.
We ride hard around here. That's my shit. That's my
Oh,
home.
okay.
I'd rather at least have a good experience and a hometown experience. You know what I mean? Something
Mhm.
good.
Yeah,
the nice people who
I
love
was
you.
just steamrolling through, man. I didn't want to. I already ran into snow in Colorado in my van. I think I
Oh, okay.
showed you.
So are you not a I like to drive in the snow kind of a person?
I mean, I grew up in New York, so I've driven in the snow.
Yeah.
But you know, it's been a while. Here, I can share this picture with everyone. I think I shared this already. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
That's me hiding under a Conoco gas station when it started snowing. That's me hiding out there as the snow. Look at that. Those are my footsteps in the snow right there. So that's when I first got
I
into
love it.
Colorado, and I was like, yeah, I'm not. I'm rolling right through this place. So,
I
but
love the
it's.
snow. I have a
Mhm.
hard time when I'm stuck in a certain season for too long. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the beach. I'm craving the sun right now. I'm craving some seawater big
Mhm.
time. But
Mhm.
there's no place like home. I love coming back home to my dry ass air and my mile high, you know, lifestyle. It's the place for me. I'm getting real sick and tired of how bitch made Colorado is becoming with
Mhm.
all this gun control, with all these, you know, shitty laws that are going to affect. They're attacking our preemption now. They want to change preemption in our state. I think we passed 6 gun control laws just this year in 2021.
Yeah.
I mean, so much is going on here, and I just feel like nobody's speaking up about it. No one's doing anything about it, and
Why do
everybody's
you think
become
that's
very
happening, though? Why do you think it's happening? Why is Colorado such a hotbed for new gun control laws?
because I think a lot of people that are moving here are liberals and democratic, and I think that they come from states that have a lot of gun control, namely California, and they bring that mentality and that mindset here.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think there's a lot of cities that were normally, you know, urban cities like, you know, Latino, Chicano, Mexicano, Asian, that are being gentrified. And, you know, when neighborhoods become gentrified, you know, people become displaced. They become, you know, either they're leaving Colorado because they can't, you know, keep up with the cost of living. They're being pushed out, and, you know, commerce is taking over, and most of that commerce is very, very white liberal.
Okay.
And white liberalism tends to come with gun control. And I'm not saying all white
Mm-hmm.
liberals are for gun control. I'm saying a pretty
Most of
good
them.
chunk of,
Yeah. So let me ask you
you
this.
know.
So Latinos in Colorado have traditionally been pro-gun. They've traditionally been conservative or conservative leaning, or they vote for Republicans. Is that?
You know, I would say the history of Colorado has become very convoluted. So when it comes to like Chicano history,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get at that here in a second. But
Mm-hmm.
it usually used to be very democratic, but the face of what it meant to be a Democrat then and a Democrat now has
Mm.
changed,
Okay.
you know, extremely. I mean, I was raised by my, you know, stepfather's family, which is my family here in Denver. My father's family is from Trinidad, Colorado. And here in Denver, my Hermosillo family, my Mexicano family, my stepfather's family is very, very radical, is very vocal, and is very political. I was taken out of school every year on Columbus Day to go
Mm-hmm.
down to Civic Center Park, a huge park in front of our mayor's building here and our city and county building here.
Mm-hmm.
That and we would protest till Columbus Day with all the mestizos, all the Indios, the Chicanos. It was very united.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up on in the art district in Santa Fe in the city and county of Denver, painting murals with, you know, Carlota Espinosa and, you know, my grandfather, and, you know, mestizos and Indios and stuff. I mean, they taught me how to make weapons. They taught me how to use my voice. They taught, you know, we would draw murals, we would hold protests. I mean, I grew up being told about the protests for against, you know, Coors beer because of how they treated Latinos. So, you know, back in the day, what it meant to be a Democrat and, you know, Mayor Pena and all this stuff
Mm-hmm.
is a completely different face of what it means to be a Democrat and liberal today. And I think it's become more in alignment with control and, you know, the big, stiff, oppressive hand of tyranny than it has been for, you know, la voz of the people, for the gente of the people, which is very, very saddening to me. I'm a huge advocate of the arts, especially independent arts,
Mm-hmm.
and one of my favorite industry or companies here in Colorado is called Su Teatro. It's a teatro that has a lot of plays that they write and perform that are surrounded in Colorado history, Chicano history, Latino history, and they talk about all the suffrages and all the trials and tribulations that our community has faced throughout the past 50 to 100 to 400 to a couple thousand years, depending on what they're highlighting in that moment. And I just got an email from them because I bought a seat in their building and dedicated it to my grandfather, David Hermosillo Sr., in his memory, to help preserve their building and to give them the right to purchase our building so they'll never be gentrified out of that neighborhood. That they have a free classroom going on for Chicano studies. It's a 2-day course that I was so excited when I got the email to attend. And then I look at the bottom of the email and it says that you have to be vaccinated in order to attend. You have to show proof of vaccination, and if you're not vaccinated, and you also have to wear a mask, even if you're not vaccinated, and if you're not, you have to show proof of a quick test within like those 72 hours that you don't have COVID, which was completely appalling to me. That this is the message that my community is sending out to my community, and the irony of it is, it's like, hey, we're going to teach you about all the suffering that your people have been through under this tyranny and under these requirements. It's like, are you freaking kidding me? So I don't know where we've become so disoriented and lost, and we lost the fight and we lost the passion and we lost the involvement. But somebody needs to light a fire under these people's asses and start reminding them of what it means to be free.
What freedom
Because,
really looks like. I mean, that doesn't look
exactly.
or sound like freedom. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, these people are coming from immigrant families. Let's be real here. Most of America is built on immigrants of any kind, whether it be Irish, Protestant, Black, whatever you are, you're some form of an immigrant here. And if we think back onto how we're treating our communities and what we're asking them to do in order to even just get education, even to get knowledge, it's like they're building these parameters on purpose. And it's like, as a culture, we're contributing to the boundaries that tyranny is setting forth, and all you're doing is teaching our up and coming youth that this is the norm, that this is okay, by allowing it. And I wasn't raised to be quiet. It's quite apparent that I'm a really opinionated and vocal person, and it's to the point now where it's like, you know what, I would be ashamed if my grandfather was still alive, my grandpa Hermosillo, if he would see what is going on in our communities and how our voices are being lost. And now it's time for me to do something about it.
Yeah, I think to a lot of people, whoever are behind these organizations, to a lot of them, it's just a kind of a trope, to pretend that you're for the colored people, you're for the black people, the brown people, you're for indigenous people, or this, you're that's a thing that you're doing, but you don't really mean that you want those people to be free and then independent, right? Because freedom is a thing you have to maintain, and independence is also a thing you have to work really hard for in order to be able to maintain. So,
and freedom hurts. It's not an easy thing. People think, because I was born here, that you were born free, and it's like that's the way it should be, but that's not always what it is. People are dying and bleeding and suffering for those freedoms on a national level on a daily basis, overseas, and wars. I mean, we're fighting rich men's wars with our people. And one of the craziest things is, I think native men and are one of the highest demographics in the armed forces, but they only make up the largest 2% of the world. And native people have a huge ploy in who's in the armed forces. And then you think about that also, native people being, and I'm talking about Native Americans.
Yeah, okay, I was trying to figure out, so there's a lot of Native Americans in the armed forces, there's a high percentage?
Yes. And irony is they also make up the largest numbers of missing women and kidnapped women and abused women. So it's like we have the smallest demographic of people that are fighting for our countries and are also being lost in our streets, and no one's doing anything about that. And it hurts me. It hurts me in my heart, because I think about how I was raised and the lessons that I was given when I was raised by my grandfather. He would take me on the bus, he would take me to these neighborhoods, he would take me to meet these people, and they would teach me about their culture. They would teach me about our culture and what it means to be, the cockroach people. And that's literally what they call us, the cockroach people, and how we thrive. And it's like, no matter what scenarios, no matter what environments that you throw us in, we're going to thrive. And right now, we're not thriving in our voices. We're not thriving politically or our involvement in how our people are being treated and how our generations to come are going to be treated. And, I'm one of those people that believes that, yes, I can make a difference, even if it's just me by myself. I really don't give a shit. So that's what I'm going to start doing. I mean, that's what I've been doing here lately, and it's just only going to get worse. It's only going to get more involved, and it's only going to get more relentless. And I'm going to make it to the point they're going to have to give me what I want, because they're going to have to listen to me. And I mean, I went to a Hispanic Chamber of Commerce event here the other day, and I got looked at by everybody there like I had 3 boobs when I told them what I did for a living and what I advocate for, and I'm a Second Amendment and self-defense, and
is that a bad thing? I'm assuming that would be
well, they just looked at me like, what?
Oh.
What? Like, how are you going to? Why would you do that? Why are you okay with that? Guns are bad. Okay, so it's like it becomes breaking the narrative. It becomes breaking the narrative. Like, I have to do something about this and bring awareness to it. And, I was finding, like, as a group of people, everybody was looking at me like I'm ridiculous. But on the sneaky, it's like they don't want their friends seeing them talk to me, but they want to talk to me. They're like, hey, I don't like the NRA. And I said, well, good. I don't either. I think there's a lot of problems with them. I'm not the NRA, though. I'm like, I'm from Colorado. I'm a citizen of, the United States. And they're like, well, these are the issues that I'm having. And it's like, okay, I'm glad that somebody's willing to be there to listen to these people. But it still is like a taboo topic as of yet.
Yeah.
It's still like,
I think
we don't want to know that we have guns. We want to tell people we vote about guns or how we feel about them. Big secret.
Yeah, I think that, what it is. And by the way, I see someone was saying here that you may have to bounce your router and the device. So I'm not 100% sure what that means, but you might have to reset everything and all that. So I don't know, because it's not getting any better here. Yeah, you might have to reset it, which means we will have to. No. I don't think that's what they mean. But basically, you'd have to probably shut everything down, start it up again, and get on it, which you could do if you want to, and we'll just keep going, and then you can catch back up to us. But here's my.
Whatever you want me to do. This is your show.
Here's my thought on it. I don't know. Maybe the folks out there are cool with it. We can hear you pretty well, so I don't know if that's an issue or not. Here's something I realized a long time ago. A lot of people out there who pretend that they're the ones looking out for us and they're the ones that should be responsible for us. They look at us like pets. And this is. I personally don't like to live in thinking all the time about, what's my skin color, where am I from, and all that. But ultimately, it's part of all of us is part of our identity, and we have to deal with it. But I believe that I could talk for myself. The way I see it, we should be looked at equally under the law, even though we're like human beings are not equal to each other. We should be looked at equally in that way. We should be able to be responsible for ourselves and take care of ourselves and all that. And the funny thing is, when you look at these guys and how they act, a lot of them think that we're just their pets. That's the way they look at us. When you see, we're the entertainment.
They love our culture, but they don't love us.
Yeah, well, they don't see us as human beings. They don't see us as other equal human beings that can stand up for themselves and speak for themselves and defend themselves and do all these kinds of things. We're really just pets to them. An example I saw after the elections, especially what happened in Virginia, I think it was Kevin Dixie. KD was sharing I think it was a Twitter of there was a white liberal woman that was like, oh, these black people just don't know any better. We're gonna have to make these choices, something along that line, right? If anyone else has seen it, they know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's about that they want it's like another way of oppression, right? It's like, oh, let me adopt your suffering too because you're too stupid to fight for yourselves and think for
Hmm.
yourselves. And it's like, get out of our communities. That's
Yeah,
the real solution is get out of our communities. Your involvement in our community and our community issues is a problem in the first place. If you want to be sympathetic, then vote for civil liberties, not just focusing on people as a demographic like, oh,
yeah,
the poor black dumb people and the poor lazy Mexicans and
yeah.
all that stuff.
Don't
It's
get
like,
mad when
ah,
people vote for the other party, because people are seeing that. I honestly, I believe no party really cares, but definitely the
I
Democratic
agree.
Party is just out there, just fronting. They're just pretending they give a shit, and people could see that. And
Oh yeah,
folks are supporting them, and they could see it only takes, we're just living in a different world, man. So even though people think that groups of people out there are stupid, they could see that these people don't really care about them, that they're not trying to help them or do anything for them. They're just trying to get into a position of power. And then when we realize, oh, it's like, for me, here's how I look at things. I don't love Republicans, I don't love Democrats, I don't even care about libertarians, right? I just want to be free. Okay? I
yeah,
just want to
same.
be able to do stuff for myself, take care of myself, defend myself. I want government to be as small as possible. I
Same.
don't care what other people do if it doesn't affect me or take away from me or hurt children or people who can't protect themselves, for whatever reason, like, for example, their children, or that's it. I don't, all this other crap they're talking about, I really don't care about. It really doesn't matter
Same.
to me what someone's sexual orientation is, what their color is, whether they're male or female, what their religion is, or that thing.
Same.
Like, let everybody live.
I get really tired of the weak-mindedness of you have to refer to people as a certain way. Shit, if that was the case, I'd be like, everybody needs to call me Her Highness, Your Highness. And I identify as royalty. Kiss my ass. That's how I tell everybody. It's like,
Hmm.
well, because at some point this is absurd. It really
Hmm.
becomes absurd, and gender is such a big topic, and it hurts so many people's feelings. And it's like, I watch a lot of Ben Shapiro. I like that guy.
Hmm.
About how he attacks those topics to people about how presumed gender identity and all this stuff. And we always end up talking about gender when we talk. I don't know why, but you
Hmm.
know I don't care what you want to call yourself, and honestly I really don't care what you do to your body, because I mean, if that's what you want to do to your body, it's your body. Do it. Just make sure that you're not hurting anybody and you're not you
Hmm.
know doing anything that's causing pain to others. And I
Hmm.
mean, pain is relative, right? What is pain? It's how fast a neuron fires within the body, right?
Hmm.
That's all it is. All pain is there for is pretty much to still let you know that you're alive, right?
Hmm.
So
Or to warn you
that's
of
a perception.
impending doom.
Exactly, right? So
Yeah,
it's
you
like,
are on fire right now. What? I'm on
if you
fire?
want to do, yeah, if
That's
you
what
want to
pain
do
is
something to
about.
yourself, great, do it.
Hmm.
But don't judge others for, how you're portraying that to the world, because nobody's a mind reader. You know what I mean? Like, you got
Hmm.
to have thick skin in this world. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it wrong. It makes it life. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And it's like, that's what we're here for, is the preservation of life. Maybe you want to go and live in the mountains and, hack off your weenus and marry four other dudes that did the same and grow weed and,
I
take
don't even like it.
psychedelics
I
and,
don't even like hearing those words
practice
you're speaking
crap. I
right
don't
now.
care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, do
You
whatever
lost
you
me
want,
at
but make
hack
sure
off
you're,
weenus.
yeah, it's like,
That's
don't get
yeah.
one over here, just,
Right.
I, I
Yeah.
really don't care about those things. I care
Hmm.
about, why should I, the truth is they hate us all equally. If that's how we want to look at it. Like,
Hmm.
everybody wants to talk politics and, oh, this is a privileged class, this is a privileged class. The only class that matters is the 1% of the world that's controlling 99% of the finances in the world and controlling what you eat, sleep, on TV, the food in your cupboard,
Hmm.
any liberty that you have. Those are the people that are controlling it. So, if you're not the 1% of the world, we're all brown in some way. We're all discards of society in some way on that level. So
We're
when
all
people
we're
start,
all slaves to that system. I think
yes, we
that's the
are.
way you have to look at it.
Exactly.
We're all slaves to that system. Not potential.
Exactly.
We are all slaves somehow to the nonsense that these folks are doing out there. Okay, Lola is saying that your internet was better upstairs. We're gonna get into all this. Hey, listen, do you want to try this? Do you want to try shutting off everything and
Here,
coming back on?
I'll just shut
I'll
down
just
and
talk to
restart.
myself for I'll just talk to myself for however long you take. Don't take too long.
Sorry, guys. I'll
Because
make it quick.
you'll
I'll
come
make it
back
quick.
here. It'll be total chaos here. Okay.
Okay, don't miss
So,
me too much. I'll be right back. I'll do it right now.
missing you already. Missing you already. Okay, so we'll try to do that. Let me see. There's what comments? If you guys have comments, I'll try to get to it right now. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, 42 Chill said we don't have to go along with your crazy. He also says show Gorn. All right, you guys want to see some Gorn? We could do Gorn. Okay, in honor of Walther, I got a Walther case right here that Lola brought in. Let me see what this is. This is my PPQ M2 Navy in here. Yeah. No, this is in the wrong box. This is supposed to be the PPQ M2, but it's not. It's not in the right box, Lola. Somehow things have been switched. This is the PDP in here, so we can see that. Let's see. That is a PDP. That is not a M2 Navy right there. So somehow this got switched out and put into the wrong box. So there you go. But it feels good, man. I really do actually like, there you go. It's the PDP. There you go. That's what we're looking at here. LV Louis Cypher says also let's do Gorn. So there you go. Does anyone out there have a PDP? Do you have a PDP? What do you think about it? Are you having any issues with it? I'm trying to get this one to focus, which it is now. There we go. It's really nice, and you can use the magazines from from your PPQ and stuff like that. But I really like this. I have not gotten any red dots for it yet. I don't know, what red dots do you guys like out there? I'm thinking of what red dot I want to put in this. I haven't found one yet, and I haven't put one on here. My eyesight is not so bad. It's not so messed up. Well, actually, you know what? It's starting to get messed up. I know that folks out there like the red dots for that reason. Although that's not necessarily, if you have astigmatism, that you got to do stuff about that stigmatism with the red dots. So there you go. Night Train says lots of cuts. So there you go. Walther makes good guns. Yeah, they do. M. Avon says, I recommend talking politics at Thanksgiving dinner. It may save you money for Christmas presents later. You know what? I grew up the way that I grew up, there was nothing wrong with talking about politics and stuff like that with your family. It was okay. It was cool for people to not agree with each other and have friendly arguments and all that kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden we started getting into this super politically correct world where people can do that. And I know, the folks I came from, they like to argue with each other. If you're from the Caribbean, or people from the Caribbean, this is a favorite thing. The last time I was in Brooklyn for my mom's wake, one of my actually two of my uncles were arguing over this particular thing, because one of my uncles was a preacher, and the other one is basically a devil worshiper. And they were arguing in friendly, in a friendly way with each other. There was no fights. They were saying things back and forward to each other, and I could tell these guys have been doing this with each other their whole lives, from the time when they were little kids up till now that they're in life. They've gone in two separate directions, and they could talk to each other about things, and it's not it's not the end of the world. I don't know what happened. What happened with that? We used to be able to talk about our opinions to people, and you didn't have to agree with everyone, and go along with it and be politically correct and only say the right things and all that kind of stuff. So Cruiseman says politics never came up when I was growing up. Oh, interesting. And Lola says nowadays it's like walking on eggshells to bring up politics. Yeah. I always embarrass Lola when we go out places, because I don't care. I'll talk to people about whatever, so I don't get into that. So and Night Train says tribalism is taken to a new level. Yeah. And then Lola says, oh yes, I remember that. I was so confused. I thought I knew all about your crazy family. Preacher versus devil worshiper. That's how my people get down, man. That's how that for the folks out there who know about people from the Caribbean, you know, you can testify that that's how people from the Caribbean get down. You know. Okay, let's see. We got Alicia back. Let's see how. What? Oh my goodness. What? Oh, you better give a shout out to LV Louis Cipher. That's all I can say. Oh, and there it goes. Now she's frozen. For 1 second, it was all good. No, you're there. You're there. You're there. What happened? What did you do? What did you do?
I just restarted my computer and just restarted the router. Just unplugged it and replugged it back in.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I went.
Look at that. Look, you know, right now, LV Louis Cipher is out there with a smug smile on his face, like,
My one fan. Hey!
yeah, he's very smug out there right now. I could feel the radiation of his smugness all the way from Las Vegas out to Florida. He says it's working better. She bounced it. Yeah. And Cruise Man.
She bounced it.
Yeah. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah. They just want to be able to. They don't give a crap, man. I could be frozen only in audio. They don't give a crap about me. They just want to see Alicia.
No,
okay.
About me today. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah. So in the couple of minutes, Lola says awesome. In the couple of minutes you were gone, I was showing off this PDP I have here that for some reason is in the. Man, I hate when stuff is in the wrong box. But there's my PDP, my Walther PDP.
Hey, I've never shot a Walther.
No?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
I've never shot a Walther. One gun that I shot recently that I really enjoyed, that I was really surprised how much I enjoyed it, was Edgar of Guns for Everyone's, his Bursa. He had the little, I don't remember which it was, but I was like, this is kind of a nice little gun. I was like, I'm kind of cool with it. I like it.
Was it what caliber was it? Like a 380 or a 9mm? 9?
It was a 9. I don't know anything about Bursas whatsoever, so I couldn't.
You don't remember what it was called, right?
I don't, but I liked it. I'll ask him what it was, but I really enjoyed it. A shout out to Mike Waller of MJ's Firearms. I just bought a firearm from him. I bought the new Sig Sauer 365 XL. I got it with the red dot Romeo 1 on it.
Where is it? Did you get it yet?
No, I haven't. I literally bought it this week. So,
is that Bursa one of these guns that we're looking at here?
Look at me. I think it was that little tiny, that Desert Storm one, the one that's like desert sand color.
Oh, this Bursa BP9CC.
I think that might be what it was.
FDE. Okay.
I think that's the one that looks the most familiar.
Yeah, I've not shot a bunch of Bursas.
That was the only one that I've ever shot, and I really dug it. I was actually kind of shocked about how much I dug it. Okay. My favorite gun in the whole wide world, since we could show guns, is this guy right here. We got here, Glock 43 or my Glock 42. Just make it have around. This is my best friend right here that I go everywhere with. I love this gun. Anybody want to send me free 380 ammo? Please do. Come on now, show me some love.
So you didn't stock up on 380 ammo? Is that what you're saying? You didn't stock up on that?
That's the thing. I do have 380 ammo. I have a lot of hollow points, tons of hollow points, a good decent amount of FMJ, but I want to train. I want to bust caps and
with 380, right? Yeah, you need to stock up. You need to get a lot of 380 if you're going to do that.
Yeah, and I used to buy 380 in bulk of 1,000 rounds each time, and I used to get an excellent deal out of it. But I buy it because I use it. So it wasn't like I would get down to maybe 300-400 rounds, and it'd be like, okay, it's time to get some more. And then we.
Yeah, I'm looking at. Let me see if I can include this in while we're talking here. I'm looking at Barnauls, so I'm going to search 380 right now. See what kind of 380 they have while we're here talking. See if I can even find anything. Let's see. Hold on. I'm going to search in. Let's see if we can search in ammunition. Out of stock.
There you go.
Out of stock. Out of stock. Oh my God. They don't have anything in stock.
There you go. Yeah. And there you go.
We're not even going to go on to the other pages. Yeah, there's nothing in stock even at Barnauls.
The story of my life. The reason I got the new 365, I put my hands on it a couple times, and I got really good trigger coverage on it, and I can maneuver the mag drop really nicely with my little tiny ass hands, and I could rack the slide well. So the ergonomics on it is really nice. And I don't have anything with a red dot yet, so I might as well. I mean, well, got to change that. But I have the Glock 43X, and I love that gun. It was upstairs, but I came down here to talk with you. But I have a 43X that I absolutely love, but it's still just a little too big in the handle, in the grip. I had the 43, and then I got the 43X, and I don't know where I skipped a beat, but for some reason I thought that it was going to be like a different slide. But you can actually take the slide off of the 43 and put it in the 43X frame.
Okay.
So I'm going to do that. I'm going to order just me a new frame for my 43, a completed frame, and then just have two 43Xs, because I mean,
different setups. So one of them works great. So you're saying the 43 works great for your hand, for grip wise.
I don't really love the 43, and here's why. It's a little like, I'm gonna make sure this is. See me, I already go back to playing with guns. Like, this is my little 43 or my 42. I mean, I have great coverage on this thing. I mean, like, boom here.
Yeah, those fingers. What's your hand size, if you don't mind us asking?
Muppet.
No, I'm not trying to say that. Are you like small? Are you extra small? I'm large on my hand size. I'm large.
Extra small everything.
Extra small.
Like,
okay.
Extra small everything. Except for like other things. But
right. Okay. All right. Yeah.
But when it comes to like maneuvering stuff and using things, the gun industry doesn't really have guns that are 9mm that are made for really, really small hands. And so
I think the SIG, what is it? Not the P320. What's the other SIG that everyone loves? I
have the 238 and I have the 938 SIGs. One's a 380, one's a 9mm.
Okay.
And I have both of those, and they're like small, really subcompact semi-autos.
What about the 365? Did you try that? I thought the 360, Lola likes the 365. I don't. It's too small for my hands. That feels like it was made for women, lady hands, or little midget dudes. Yeah, Babyface has one. He loves it. He's got little tiny ham hocks.
I'll tell you, when I put about 500 rounds in it, as soon as I get it, I'm all giddy. I have, when it comes to 9mm, I got a pretty good surplus of 9mm. So when I get this gun, I want to go bust some caps. Since I'm gonna have a red dot, I want to go take a red dot course with Ken Scott.
Oh, Prevectus.
Yeah, so I want to go back out there and get my red dot lesson in. But
that's in Atlanta, right? Prevectus, I think.
He is out in Kennesaw. So yeah, suburb of
Kennesaw, Georgia. Okay, all right, yeah. Ken Scott's cool.
Up there in Georgia is just so weird. Oh my God, it's like, for an indoor range, like, don't get me wrong, it's one of the reasons I love to go to Georgia is because you can train outside. It's fun.
You're just trying to cruise around Atlanta. Don't front. You said that the last time, and the whole time I was like, no, she just wants to be. You just want to party in Atlanta.
I just want to party, but it doesn't matter where.
Exactly.
I just want to party.
Like, I like, because all the gun guys are there,
Well, the thing
Kevin
is,
Dixie's there, and and Devin is there, and all these guys are there. No, you just want to party in Atlanta. That's all it is.
So I actually, true story, I didn't like Atlanta. I always had a real bias to Atlanta. I was always like, Atlanta's too hood for me. Atlanta's too ghetto for me. I was all in my shit about it. And then I was like, I want to go get some good training. Then I researched some training. I found KD. I found Ken Scott. Ken was actually the first person I looked up to go get training from out there. So I was like, I guess I'll go out Atlanta, shoot some guns. And me, I never let any opportunity go without a little bit of adventure. So I was like, I'll go a couple days early. and that way I can, check out the town and mosey around and go see what's up. And so I got there, and I was like, damn, Atlanta's fun. I was like, it's fun here. Like,
yeah. How many strip clubs did you go to in Atlanta? Don't lie to us. We might already have evidence. Wait, how many? Okay. Sure.
7 so far.
Yeah.
They're fun though. I'm like, that's fun because, I mean, let's talk about it. Strippers, right? If you're gonna be a stripper, work it, dance, do something, like entertain me. Like, you're supposed to be an entertainer. Like, I can go anywhere and see naked chicks. It's like, that's not what stripping's about. Like, give me a show, put on a performance. You know what I mean? Do something.
Oh, you're talking burlesque. That's a whole different thing.
I love burlesque, but I mean, if you're gonna strip and you're gonna be naked and stuff, twirl around on the pole, do some dances. Be entertaining. Don't just like do the stripper leg high heel clap and boom, and then give me some money. It's like, right. I'm not here for that.
Yeah, everyone and their mama could do that, with this like stripper workouts. Now there's booty dancing workouts. I know you've seen that.
There has been a long time of that happening.
Yeah.
It just wasn't as mainstream as it is now.
I like this. I'm not complaining. This is a good thing. Women of America should take the booty dancing workout classes.
If you have a booty, it's hard.
A booty is not necessary to do this.
I have a booty, but I have I don't have like a wobbly booty. So like you see the girls do it and their booties are all wobbly and they do all these wobbly booty tricks. I'm like, that kind of looks like it hurts. I don't want my ass just wobbling all around.
You mean your butt muscle might get disconnected or something, or sprained? You might tear a glutamus.
One lesson I learned early on in life: if there's gonna be a hoe in the room, I'd rather it be someone else.
Right. Yeah, but listen, you don't have to. I've done research. You don't have to have a big booty to do these things.
Send me some videos, Hank. Show me some.
No, I mean, that was a long time ago. I don't have that stuff. I don't know. I don't know anything about those kinds of things nowadays. I mean, I don't know anything about that. I spend all my money right now goes to guns and cars. And my 2 kids. I should have said that first. But the 2 kids that are in college, that's where a lot of money goes to.
I've been wanting to buy a sports car. I'm in that place in my life where it's like I want to get rid of everything old. Like, I don't want any of my old shit anymore. I'm selling all my comic books. I'm selling all my toys. I'm selling everything because it's like, screw it. I'd rather just have good opportunities and good experiences and less stuff. It's like I don't need all this stuff.
What are you driving right now? By the way, Boss Hog says, why are we talking about wobbly booty?
Because it's fun.
Wobble. That's not me. I didn't bring that up. Alicia brought that up. I can just tell you that right now. What kind of car are you driving now? You want to get a sports car? What kind of car are you driving?
I have a Chevy. I have a little sports Chevy, a little turbo that I love. It's tiny.
Okay.
And I have a
like a
old
Cruise,
truck. I have
like a Cruise, Chevy Cruise or something.
No, it's small. It's like a little Chevy Sonic LT.
Oh, okay.
It's like a little. I love that car. I love that car so much. I bought it twice just because it's great on gas. Nobody's checking for me in it. I've had nice flashy cars before, and I just got sick of the maintenance. I got sick of the attention. I'm an incognito broad. So it's like, I'd rather, I own this car. It's paid off. There's no point in me spending money on shit like that. Like, I like my money in the closet, in my safe, and in the bank. So it's like, I'm good with it. And then I have a little Ford F1 or Ford F1. I have a little Ford Ranger XLT from 1999. I love that.
Oh, from 99? Oh.
It's an old school 1999 pickup that I love. The little extended cab. It's got the little shell on top. I love that thing. That thing is good to me. I've noticed I get treated differently depending on what I drive. So it's like, I'd rather keep it low key. I don't like all the attention, and I like to drive fast. I drive like a bat out of hell. I really do. Okay. And I don't need something that's going to get me in trouble.
So why do you said you want a little sports car? What are you?
I want like a little.
Looking for?
I want a little sports car. I want like a little like old school, like Audi Quattro TT, coupe, something like that, or even like a little old school Carmen Ghia, like a little 2-seater, something fun.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm going through a midlife crisis or what it is, but it's like,
I mean, a Carmen Ghia is not going to have that much horsepower. It's going to have like 40.
No, it's not, but
yeah.
I want just like a little fun sports car that's just fun, that I can go do something. Nobody could come with me. That's the excuse. Like, it's a 2-seater. Leave me alone. Maybe a little Porsche, maybe a little something. I don't know. But then I start thinking about like, oh, insurance, oh, gas, oh, payment, and then I'm like, I'll forget it.
Yeah, yeah. What do you do for a living?
This is what I do. This is what I do. I'm going in business for myself. I've been working a lot on finding a way to make that happen. Once COVID hit, I retired from a company that I worked for right before COVID hit. And then COVID happened, and I had just decided right before that December, that I was like, I'm going to go in business for myself. I'm going to, start doing instructions full time. I'm going to start doing, gun safety, gun education full time. I'm going to start doing this and that. COVID hit. Screwed everything up. I still did trainings for people during COVID. I would go to people's homes, teach them in their houses, like cert guns, demonstrates like that, show them how to dry fire, certify them for concealed carry, those types of things. And it worked pretty well. So it was like, well, I'll continue doing that. What I'd really like to do is find a way to marry those ideas and just make sure that we can start getting this Second Amendment advocacy as a full-time job for me, whether it be education, de-escalation, situational awareness, having legal workshops for people in Colorado that they can come to get free advice on concealed carry, just bringing more awareness to the situation, because I think what's going on right now is so critical with all the people moving here. And, generations are changing. We're losing the boomers and we're getting this influx of, Gen X and, millennials and all that jazz. And I just think we're losing connection to our communities. So if I can figure out a way to make that happen, or when I figure out a way to make that happen.
Okay. So what I would say is like LV Louis Cypher, who's going to be very active today, he's going to be very active in the chat. He says, is Alicia going into the full-time van life? Here's what I suggest. Get yourself one of those short buses. You know how everyone's building up the short buses? To like, no, seriously. It's not a joke. Everyone's buying the short... Okay, you remember the short buses? Like the short school buses? Everyone's buying those and making those into campers. True story.
I've seen that. I actually follow a couple of people on Instagram that's like the schoolie life, where they take all the old school buses and convert them. That shit's dope. That shit is super dope, like straight up. Honestly, I was thinking, maybe I'll buy a place in Atlanta. Maybe I'll buy a little condo. I have 2 little dogs that are my pride and joy that are going to have to be everywhere with me. That's like the only concern that I have. But things are changing in my life, and I just want to make sure that I make the right decision. It's kind of weird when you're going through all these like evolutionary changes, like on a straight up spiritual level. I've noticed everything about me is leveling up, and it's like I'm losing friends because I'm becoming more vocal and more, adamant about the things that are going on in our community. My values have changed too, of the things that I want to do and, what's important to me and how I can handle that. I really would like to see just more outreach and education, seeing more gun education available to the youth of our community, to, people that cannot afford to, pay $180 for a CCW class. If everybody could just get on board, and I can find a way to have this nonprofit where I'm providing education, and awareness to people on either a sliding scale or for free, I'm all about it. I was talking about this with Joanna of the Locked and Loaded Latinos. She's a friend of mine. And the issue is everybody wants to do something right now, right? Everybody wants to start their own something. And it's like there's all this, ball swinging and, dick measuring contests in the Second Amendment industry right now about, well, who's going to do this and I'm going to do that. That's
and everyone's competing with each other. A lot of that going on.
And if we're already fighting amongst ourselves and we're already not in cahoots with each other, we're never going to get anywhere. And that's one of the issues, is like everybody's like, oh, well, I talk about that, so stay in your lane, or you're a brown girl, so you stay in your brown lane. And the
brown lane is I don't know if the brown lane. That's
there's people that have
But
said
I
things
get
of
it.
that
Yeah,
nature,
right. No, yes,
you know,
I know. I
many
have heard that. I have
and
heard
it's
that. Yes.
yeah, and it becomes competitive. And
Hmm.
I really I like to stand alone a lot of the times because I'm not into the whole gun bunny thing. I mean, shout out to Tony Simon. He's the hottest gun bunny in the world. Um,
Oh yeah,
it,
that's
the
a lot of
perception
sexy.
of
That's
women in the
Tony
firearms.
Simon's. If Tony Simon was, in like what is it, Austin Powers movie, his name would be a lot of sexy.
A lot of
Yeah,
chocolate sip.
yeah. If Tony Simon, flips and goes over to play for the other team, he's gonna be a lot of sexy. Okay, no,
There's
I'm
gonna be
gonna
a
get.
line up the front for that guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna hear about it on that one. Okay, go ahead.
That's
Uh
the
huh.
thing is, the perception of women in this industry is changing. And I mean, what over 40% of new gun owners in this United States of America that we live in are women. And so there's a huge market for things that are oriented towards women, and women are starting to take ownership of more than just their kids. It's more than just what's going on the table tonight for dinner. All these archaic ways of thinking of what a woman means to be a provider for her family and protect her home are changing, which is wonderful. But not every woman is every woman.
Right.
I'm not a mother. I don't have kids. I'm not someone's wife. I don't have those thoughts that go through my mind. I have there needs to be a voice for just freedom and giving people the opportunity to know what they need to know to make those decisions for
Hmm.
themselves without the pressure of, being told like, oh, well, you have to like this or you have to like this. Oh, you like Glocks. Oh, you're a Glock fanboy. Oh, you did in a 1911. They've won 2 world wars. I mean, it gets so convoluted, and it really turns people off from our industry. And I mean, there's a lot of people in this industry. I mean, you and I know a lot of the same people, but they're dicks. They're just straight up
What?
dicks.
What are you saying?
they
Huh.
they talk about freedom. They talk about what it means to be a responsible gun owner,
Hmm.
but it's my way or the highway.
Hmm.
You have to train my way. You have to believe what I'm saying. And it's like, it's just another way for a narcissist to have a platform. And if we tie that to the Second Amendment, people are going to be turned off by it. So
Hmm.
it's like, how can we, as a new movement, a new grassroots movement, unite and create a network through the United States that it's like, hey, for my cousin in Virginia, hey, go see so and so. They're great with firearms training. They're non-biased. They're not going to try to sway you,
Hmm.
into the NRA or a political movement. They're going to teach you what it means to have a proper gun for your hand. They're going to give you an educated fitting. They're going to tell you the things you need to look for when you're shopping for a firearm. They're going to help you. They're going to help you to get training. They're going to teach you about dry fire. They're going to teach you about how to get involved and use your voice to, demonstrate what you think is important and talk about the things that are important when it comes to self-defense. Who's going to tell you what it means to use deadly force in your state, or what it means to understand these concepts. That's what people really need, is education and connections to those education. And that's where it should stop.
Yeah.
That's the
You,
stop
you
right
know
there.
something? I think just to seize on something that you were saying there. I'm not gonna knock people for falling into categories and then maximizing, being in that category. So what I mean by that is, if someone comes up and they're an activist, right? So they're a woman and they're fighting for the women, or they're black and they're fighting for the black people, or whatever it is. If people, or they're a gun guy but they do the political thing, or they're a trainer. I get it, but there's only so many positions like that. That's the problem with that, right? There's only so
Mm.
many positions for that kind of thing to exist, and you're only going to get so much attention. Or the people, if there's, let's say there's 3 positions for each category, everyone's jockeying for that. If the companies are
Yeah.
looking to get, like, I was talking to some companies recently, and they were telling me, oh yeah, statistics show us that women are buying all the guns, so we're all about the women now. And I was like, oh boy. Once you do that, how many women are there going to be that are in the gun world, the companies are all going to choose 1 or 2 or 3 at the most women. So if you're trying to do the women category, you get limited really fast. I feel like we should just all be human beings. You know, you could be a guy, you could be into politics, you could be about guns, you could be a black person, a white person, Latino, whatever it is. You just be who you are. And folks out there are just going to identify with you, and you're going to reach out to a broader market as opposed to just going for that. Because when people take you and drop you into those boxes, a lot of times that's very limiting. I think if you look back, that's what I think happened a lot when, you know, I talk to people about this from time to time. You know, Coleon Noir, for example, right? Was very popular before the NRA found him. A lot of people liked what he did, and it wasn't just a thing, like it wasn't just black guys looking at it or whatever. Everyone liked how he did what he did. And I think he would have still been as popular as he is now, but when he got involved with the NRA, everything got magnified, but only like one part of who he is got magnified.
Also the affiliation. I mean, the NRA has left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth because of, you know, all the money issues, all the political issues, you know, and the opposing team, you know, Moms Demand Action, all these people that are so anti-gun, anti-freedom, and people who are pretty illiterate about guns, not just maybe they don't have an opinion, but, you know, all they know is guns equals NRA. So it's like, I want to see independent people coming out that it's like, hey, I'm not affiliated with any, you know, organization, this or that. I just want to educate the people. I just want to bring awareness. One of the things that I think that we're not having support us right now in this industry, everybody wants to be an instructor. Everybody wants to do that. And that's great. You know, I'm an instructor, great, all that jazz. But we really need a department or a company that wants to do real research rather than trust these media outlets to give us the stats, to give us the information, to give us the numbers on what's really happening in America and our individual states. Who's out there like putting in research? That's what I want to know.
That you can believe, that you can have faith in.
Right, exactly. And that's one of the things that I have such a hard time with is, you know, I get in these conversations with people when they find out, you know, hey, I dig guns, you know, I dig knives, I dig this stuff. And all of a sudden it's like, you're an NRA and this and this and that, and you must love Trump and you must be a Republican. It's like, nah, I like to stay alive. I like my safety, you know, I like
we all fall into a lot of different categories. Like I said, it's nothing wrong with trying to go for that, but it's very competitive, and only so many people are going to rule that. Whereas most human beings out there are looking for a mix of things. You know, even if you're a black person, you don't want to see black people all the time when you're looking for, you know, it's like you want to see something different, you know. It's this is human beings. Yeah, we're looking for that. We're looking for different opinions. Sometimes you want to hear from a female opinion. Sometimes you want to hear from that. You want to hear from that. You want people to be multifaceted. I think the person it's difficult. I'll tell you that. Like, I've tried a lot to stay multifaceted in what I do, but it's very difficult, especially in these times when they're forcing us to go down these lanes, to go down these channels. When I came to America in the 80s, on one radio station you can hear Madonna, and then you could hear Run DMC. You know, you could hear Guns N' Roses. You could one radio station, and we all kind of like listen to that, even though people might have said, "Oh, I'm more of a rock, I'm more hip hop, I'm more this thing or that thing." We all were aware of those things. Today, we're living in a world where there's no kind of like that's true diversity. You know. Yeah. That's truly a melting pot. That's truly interesting. It's all the colors and the flavors. Huh?
Everything needs a label now. Everything needs a definition to everybody. What does that mean? Are you Latin? Are you Latinx? Are you,
oh my God,
you know, transgender? What the hell are you? It's like, I'm from Colorado.
I'm a human meat popsicle.
I like comics.
Yeah.
You know, like, what is a category? That's the thing. The entire world is nothing but a gray area. That's all it is. And it's like, the more people you surround yourself with that aren't like you, the more enlightened you will become. The more conversations you have with people who don't necessarily agree with you on anything, that's where understanding, that's where humanity comes in. And that's really what I want to see, and how I can figure out to make that happen. I'm working on it. On it big. I have
What's up?
2021 has been probably one of the most impactful years of my life. I've been doing a lot of change and making a lot of decisions and putting myself first in a lot of choices. And it becomes to the point where it's like people are looking at me like, what is going on with you? What is it that you're doing? What do you get? It's like, well, when I figure it out, I'll let you know. You know?
By the way, is that a big T-shirt printer behind you?
Yeah, it is. I have a big T-shirt printer back here. I print T-shirts.
I just realized that. Yeah.
My dogs are playing here, so sorry if you hear like munching and grumbles.
Okay.
But I'm having some issues with it. 2 of my print heads are giving me grief, so I'm tired of dealing with it. I'm shopping and seeing if I can upgrade to a different one, trade this guy in, and get a new one. But they're gonna have to.
Those dogs are getting crazy. What kind of dogs you got there?
I have 2 Lost Opsos, Mickey and Peter. It was just my dog Peter's golden birthday this week. Hey, calamate. Hey, calamate. They don't give a shit what I say.
No, it sounds like they're fighting over something, so like a chew toy or something like that.
They're just playing. Chill out, kid. This is my dog Peter. He's
these are little tiny. Oh, look at this! Come on. Yeah, that's literally a Furby or
That's my dog Pete.
It looks like a little
Piece of
what
shit.
Is it? A little Ewok or something like that, right there. Yeah.
So his birthday this week on the 16th. It was his golden birthday. It was 16. Now I've had that dog, almost 16 years. I got him when he was 8 weeks old, and he's my ride or die ever since. So that's my boy.
People have questions. We're going to show some. We're going to get into more Gorn here in a second. Cruiseman says, "What kind of comics do you like?" You were talking about your comic books. You're getting ready. Yeah, what kind of comic books? What are you into? Show us some comic books, woman.
Oh man, what kind of time do you have?
We got almost an hour. We got like at least 40 minutes, 40 something minutes. What you got?
I collect tons of comics. I love Marvel comic. Was my original first comic I ever read that just blew my mind was Secret Wars. A huge X-Men fan. I love Colossus. Piotr Rasputin is the reason my dog's name's Pete. So my dog's name is Pete and Mickey. If you follow comics, Peter Rasputin is Colossus of the X-Men. His brother is Mikhail Rasputin, the cosmonaut, who's the darker, eviler version. And
okay, you are a nerd. I can see it. You're not making that up.
No, I'm literally a comic book dork. I have comic toys on my desk. Like literally,
What is that?
It is a Wolverine. Here's a little Wolverine. Here's a little Sabretooth.
Oh wow.
It is a comic toy. It's the Uncanny X-Men Danger Room setup that you can make a little,
like the training room. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said,
you can have a little training room thing going on. Okay.
Don't judge me. But yes,
no, we're not judging. The people want to see comic books, Alicia. Can you show?
Like Harper's comic books. I love Spawn. I love Frank Miller comics.
Okay.
I love to collect toys. I have tons of pop toys. Tons of them. I'm actually selling a whole bunch of them on eBay because it's like I don't
What
need
kind
all
of
this
pop
shit.
toys? Like those little bobblehead things? Or?
I like the Funko Pops.
Funko. Okay.
Funko Pop toys. Those are really cool. I love those.
Do you have some cool ones? Can we see some cool Funko Pops?
Yeah. They're all in storage because they're all closed up. Let me see if I have any over here.
They're MIB.
Well, they're collectors. So my Simpsons collecting comic book. My Simpsons pop figures that I have. I have Marge, I have Bart, and I have Krusty, and I have Homer. They're the original Simpsons collection, the 4. So right now, I think they're selling on eBay for like anywhere from like $1,500 to like $4,000 for the set, which is ridiculous. So,
LV Louis Cypher says my favorite comics are based on Hellraiser, The Terminator, and the Thing movie and TV franchises. If he becomes one of your husbands in the future, I want some kind of freaking royalties out of that
I have a hymn
situation.
room. It's called a harem. Can I have a hymn room?
You can have a hymn room if you want to. If everyone's voluntarily going in there, it's all good.
Oh my God,
I
that sounds
don't care.
good. I need a mechanic. I need
You
a
need a
network person.
mechanic. Yeah. Okay, who's got mechanical skills right now?
I need some medical skills.
Oh,
I need a straight
medical
up
skills.
gangster.
What are we talking? Psychological medical skills, or what are we talking here? Is it actual stuff that needs fixed, or?
Well, depends on what you could break, you know.
All right,
um,
right.
yeah, I love that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
What else? What else did you say? What other comic books that I like? I love
Yeah.
Spider-Man. Always loved Peter Parker. Um, I love Marvel comics. I love creepy things too, like really dark stuff. They did all the Dracula things. I have all the Civil War comics from back in the day that they did. Older comics I really dug. I loved Spawn, but I never really got into like the new comics that are coming out. Like they're kind of sissy. I think Marvel went on a rampage, or it's like they're trying to be so politically correct that they forgot like you're writing about mutants. Like
Yeah.
you can't be politically correct and be a mutant. The whole thing about being a mutant is you are,
Yeah.
you know.
But also,
not
who's buying the comic books? I think when I look at a lot of the stuff now, it's like, are these people? Do they even realize who's buying this? Because you're
yeah,
not making it for the people you think are buying it. You know.
everything's lost its flavor. Everything's become so dumbed down. It's like, oh man, I'm so glad that I grew up in a time where we didn't actually have technology in my youth to dictate what I did. You know, if I wanted to learn something, I had to seek it out. I had to court knowledge. I had to go to the library, hit up the card catalog, go find a book, look it up, make some references, put together my own research. I wish more people would do that, because nowadays media isn't about if it's true, it's about who's first. It's about, you know, creating a narrative. It's about, you know,
Who shouts the loudest? You know?
Yeah, so
That's one of the things.
can we just have information and get what we want to get out of it and make our own decisions? But
That's what the internet should be. Listen, I want to do this before I forget. Lola said that we got a subscriber here on Utreon. Our first subscriber, Dan Hates You. A big thank you to Dan Hates You.
Dan hates you, right on.
Yeah, Dan Hates You. That's his name. He's always been here supporting us. So big shout out to Dan Hates You for subscribing to us here on Utreon. And people could do that, by the way. If you want to support us, if you're on Patreon, you can use Utreon instead. If you want to support us, this Utreon is kind of like a Patreon with a YouTube-ish kind of platform element to it that we could broadcast and do all these things. So big thanks to Dan Hates You. We appreciate that. So,
that's cool. So is Utreon more like it's going to replace YouTube kind of a thing, hopefully, like less
yeah.
on freedoms?
And I think it's a combo, right? It's a combo of Patreon and YouTube, and we're definitely using it for going live because we can show guns and stuff like that. So I'm gonna break out some more guns here and show them off. Let me start with this. So we talked about Glocks, and I know there's Glock fanboys and Glock haters. So I have the 9mm Pistole 80, the P80. Have you seen these? Do you know what this
No,
is? So basically, when Glock first came out, this is what the first Glock was. The Pistola 80 is really what the first Glock was. And I don't know how many of these were actually in America. Maybe a very few. But this is what they came out around the world. This is like what they call the original Tupperware Glock that everyone talked about in an actual Tupperware container. See that? It comes in a Tupperware container. This is a special edition that I forgot who was it. Lipsy's, I think, had this out, special edition. So it comes in a Tupperware container like that you open. This is what it looks like on the inside, and it's basically just your very plain basic Glock. You know, is what you're looking at here.
Isn't that a beautiful sound?
Yeah. So let's see. There you go. Like, check that out. No finger ridges. No crazy stippling or serrations. I mean, you got this up here, but no serrations
There's
up
like
here.
a little thumb divot, like you know how some Glocks have that little thumb divot.
Yeah,
oh, no.
Very simple. Very simple. You know, the P80. That's what it is.
That's dope.
Yeah. So yeah, I actually like this. You know, it's weird, right? Like we're going backwards. Oh, now we're pining for the days when everything had no bells and whistles on it. So that's one of my going things there. I'm sharing with you guys. What's up?
Sometimes that's better. I have a whole bunch of crap on my carry gun. Like I have the little
Mm-hmm.
Hogue grips on it on my
Mm-hmm.
little three. Got the little Hogue grips on it.
Mm-hmm.
I have the extended slide lock on it right here.
Mm-hmm.
My little Muppet hand.
Okay.
And then
Is that blue? Is your frame blue? Am I seeing that
it
right?
is
Every
like
time.
chameleon color. So if you,
Oh,
I'll back
okay.
put like a black, get on the black, like see
Oh,
it's kind
okay.
of.
I see it. Yeah, I noticed that from before. I was like, okay, and then you got grips, the hoe grips. You said on there.
Yeah, I have the little baby Hogue grip on it.
Oh, it's
So
cool.
I dig it because it helps me, so when it's like good, keep a good little grip. So when I'm shooting, my hands nice and sturdy, and I go like sometimes when you're here in Colorado, it's so dry, but then you go shoot where it's like super humid and stuff. You got a little sweaty hand. It really helps like keep your grip on it after a long period of time, and it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of nice because it helps absorb a little of that felt recoil too, in my
Mm-hmm.
perspective anyway.
Right.
I just got some new sights put on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I like how those are blue. I
Yeah,
like
well,
Is that blue or green?
they are like a green color. They're
Okay,
like
green.
a
Okay, it's looking blue to me here. Okay, that's cool. Yeah.
see when I like move my gun around, it like could be purple. Here, my even in
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's blue, and then if I go this way,
Yeah.
it's like purple, and then
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So it's a custom little painting job I got done for myself because I'm
Right.
like,
That's
oh, I
cool.
love that so much.
Yeah. I like
Like,
that. Yeah.
yeah, I dig it.
Let's
But
see
I
if
did
there's
it. I
questions.
suck though. Like it's starting. I'm seeing the paint starting to chip right here on the trigger guard. It's starting to like
Uh,
chip and took me off a little bit, but
yeah,
whatever.
that's the downside. That's the downside of getting fancy.
Oh, that's your
Mavens. Oh, let's see. What's your holster here? What do you got?
So shout out to Insane Kydex Creations. They made this for me, a female company. She makes this. It's called the Flextron. It's for
Hmm.
like appendage carry. I'll show you
It looks like a
right here.
corset.
Um, yeah, it kind of does look like a corset.
All right.
So it's like,
Okay.
it goes like into your pants like this,
Uh huh.
and so it like flexes, so it moves
Right.
around, and then you can carry an extra mag
Okay.
with it also. So it's like you can have your setup.
I see. Yeah, that's cool.
So I dig it. But I hurt my feelings last time when you were telling me you were like Gucci's anti-gun. So I was like, oh man,
Oh.
my pad.
Oh, okay. That's why.
I
Yeah,
was
I
patterned
mean,
by Gucci. So I'm like,
yeah.
oh, that's
I remember we
so.
were talking about that. So let's see here. We got some questions. Avon says, "Do you prefer Utreon or Patreon or no difference?" Honestly, I would prefer you guys support us here on Utreon just because they're more open and to have lines of communication with us and all that. I see Edward Brower is in the chat right now talking to you guys. That's the CEO of Utreon. So if you ask me for a preference, I'd say go with that. If you feel comfortable supporting us on Patreon, we're not going to close it down, but we're definitely going to try to funnel everyone over to these things because I think the people who are supportive of what we're all doing and not getting in our way, we should try to support
Absolutely.
them as much as possible. So,
Of course, I'm the same way. I only like to shop places that I know are all about freedom. I'm
mhm.
totally with that. Like
Yeah.
everybody can miss me with a lot of stuff this year because they're telling you to get vaxxed. They're telling you what you can and cannot do. It's like
Mhm.
if this is a platform for you to use your freedom of speech, you should be able to talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about it. And I think
Yeah.
people have a hard time like, well, that's not okay. That's not this and this and that. It's like just because you don't like something doesn't mean it's bad.
Mhm.
Deal
Yeah,
with it.
absolutely.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, it's just not your cup of tea.
Yeah, then don't pay
Yeah.
attention to it. Like if you don't like
Yeah.
something, leave it alone. Keep it moving, rather than getting all Karen on everybody and be like, you shouldn't think that. This is bad. Let's shut them down. It's like that's when those are all infringements on our civil liberties, and it's become
Mhm.
normal for people to bitch about civil liberty, and it's
Yeah.
like accepted these days.
Yeah.
It's blowing my mind.
So let's
So
see. Do we want to do more Gorn? Do the folks out there want to see more Gorn? Do they want? Do you have stuff you want to talk about? You want to talk about the news? What are you following in the news? I know you had some stuff you and Lola were talking about, like
Oh
pre-show
yeah,
notes, but we've gone off the tracks already, so it doesn't really matter.
it's
We
all
could talk.
good.
Yeah, what are you looking at nowadays in the news? It could be anything. I don't care. It doesn't have to be gun related. Yeah. What's
Most of the
moving
things
your
are.
needle?
I ain't gonna lie.
Hmm.
The issue with the shooting here in Colorado, the Good Samaritan John Hurley in
Hmm.
Arvada, Colorado, he stopped a could have been mass shooting. He was killed by a police officer who the
Hmm.
police thought he was the bad guy, and now it just came out in the news this week that the police officer is not going to be charged with anything. So
So to just run this down for people, what happened there? There was a guy going around killing cops or something, right? Or
So yeah, he had some sort of like little diary or manifesto. I don't even
hmm.
know the name of the killer. Honestly, I don't even like to repeat their names because they don't deserve
Hmm.
anything at all, any energy at all. But he was on one saying he wanted to kill a whole bunch of pigs and the words that he used, and he wants to make
Hmm.
sure that if he dies, he at least take the whole bunch of them out. He
Okay.
got, and I don't know what which report is correct because obviously I wasn't there and the media is never correct on anything, but they've said semi-automatic shotgun, they've said pump action shotgun, they've said AR-15, they've so some form of rifle looking gun is pretty much the gist of what I can get. But that the bad guy shows up, he starts trying to pop off some rounds and shoot some people in a pretty like I don't want to say affluent, but it's more of a nicer town. It's a nicer little area of Colorado. It's kind of a small little district. It's called Old Arvada, where people, there's lots of bars and restaurants and shops to walk around. And he started busting some caps. A Good Samaritan, John Hurley, was in, I think, the Armory thrift or surplus store or something. Saw
Okay.
something, came out. And I mean, if I'm saying this wrong, shout me out, guys. Tell me I'm wrong. I don't like to be misquoted or say anything wrong, but he came out and saw that somebody was shooting, so he started shooting, and
Hmm.
I think he took down the bad guy,
Yeah, and
and
stopped
the
more loss of life in the process of doing that. Right.
yeah. So
Hmm.
what happened, I think, is John Hurley either was near or reached for uh, the bad guy's firearm, whether it
Hmm.
was I think it was some form of a rifle or shotgun. A police officer showed up on site, saw that, and then shot John Hurley, I think, 3 times and killed
With no
him.
warning, no like, hey, drop it. You know.
No, hey, none
Yeah.
of that shit.
Okay.
So that's my
Hmm.
issue. I watched a video about it for one of the DAs in that area, saying that I think she was a DA for Jefferson County and Larimer County or some sort, or not Jefferson County, another county here for gambling. Well, she said that they've watched all types of footage and looked at all types of videos, and they stand again. They're not going to, hold the officer accountable for the loss of life because, he didn't know who the assailant was. It was a possible second shooter.
Hmm.
And that now articles are coming out pushing the gun control agenda, saying,
Using
literally
all of this to push gun control. This
saying
is
that
why you people shouldn't be able to have your own guns.
it's saying that
You
it's
might save people. You might stop crimes.
harder for police officers to know who the bad guy is. So for people being a concealed carry citizen, it makes it more difficult for our police officers. And I'm just like, are you freaking kidding me? So
There's
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 things
some
wrong.
questions I have here. When I was looking at this article, and I think there's a couple of different articles out there on it. So the police officer shot him in the hip, right, or
Yeah.
the pelvis, or something like that. How did he wind up dying? Did they not? Was there just? Did they just allow massive blood loss? Did they take a long time before they got him to medical treatment?
It makes you wonder about that whole scenario. And, I tell
Mhm.
people all the time, like, the only information we're given is all we have. And I don't trust our corrupt media in the first place to give me an educated answer of the scenario or even just a neutral
Mhm.
synopsis of,
Mhm.
events that happened that day.
Right.
So we really don't know. But, I think about it. It's like, so there was no, hey, drop your weapon. There was no any of that. There was no attempt to subdue him without just blasting on the dude. Like,
Yeah.
seriously, like I'm sure if he had an opportunity to be aware that he was going to be shot, he would have done something. And so, I've had a lot of people comment on this on like my
Mhm.
Instagram. There's some some people that are haters are like, well, he shouldn't have reached for the bad guy's rifle. That was his mistake. So
I
let's
think
talk.
maybe he was trying, like, it's possible that he didn't know whether that guy was truly out of commission,
Yeah,
and he
right.
was trying to remove that from. Yeah, I mean, look, listen, this is once again just a confluence of misunderstandings that could lead to this, but this is not a reason why people shouldn't be able to defend themselves. People, look, he stopped the guy at the end, right? He stopped the guy. This person could have killed more
At the cost
people
of his life.
at the cost of his life. And I think a lot of us out there, we don't want it to cost our life to do that. But if that's what it means, then we would rather have that. Because for them to say that, there's a lot of undercover cops or off-duty cops out there that are armed that might see this situation. So an off-duty police officer could have seen this, intervened, gone to remove that weapon from that guy. At the same time, another cop showed up that didn't know who he was and shot him. This is the world's just messed up. That's how it
That's
goes.
why my take on this is, let's use this as an opportunity to create scenario awareness if in fact you do have to use your firearm in something like that. I was talking with a couple of my peers in this industry, and one of the things that we say is you always keep, even like when you're building a battle belt, even these police officers in the street, you keep your lethal things on your strong side, you keep your lethal things on your support side,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's like, if my support side's my left side, that's where my cell phone is. If you're
Mm-hmm.
in a confrontation like that, pick up the phone, call 911, create a
Yeah,
double
I'm
narrative.
showing you. I'm showing your IG over here on the side, by the way, too.
Yeah.
Oh, I
So
see you
it's
got
like,
a picture of me and you there. Look at that. Yeah.
hey,
It looks like I'm a little bit taller than you.
oh,
No,
who
I'm just
isn't?
teasing
Oh,
you.
who isn't? I think I had like 4-inch
Yeah.
Jimmy shoes on too that day, so I was really going
You're
for it.
cheating. You're definitely cheating. Yeah.
Oh,
So
I
this
was.
is this is that article that you posted. So people got mad at you for this.
People got some upset. I had some people like
Okay.
block me or unfollow me and shit, because it's
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, we're talking about the fact that, oh, he shouldn't touch the gun. It's like, let's not do that. Let's look at this as an opportunity for education on how we
Mm-hmm.
do handle these things. How do we create a double narrative? How do we make sure we get on the phone right and then say, hey, my name's this. This is what I'm wearing. This is what I look like.
Mm-hmm.
I just shot somebody trying to kill people. I am armed. You know what I mean? You have to create these things. And also, what are we doing to not educate our police officers and take care of our law enforcement, that they're having enough exposure to these things, that they're not given this type of training where
Mm-hmm.
they're told, what if you get on the scene, you don't know if that person's a good person or a bad person. How do you preserve life in the best possible way that
Yeah.
you can? Is really preserving life, unloading 3 rounds into someone you haven't even confirmed who he is or actually
Mm-hmm.
tried to subdue him? Like, what was his body language that you felt that he was a threat? Because if we look at other civilian cases where a citizen uses their gun against a law enforcement officer, it's like, okay, well, what were you doing? What was your body language? Was the gun pointed at you? What were you doing? Was he leaning over to pick it up, put it down? I mean, there's all these gray
There's
areas
too many
we're not
things
getting
could go
to.
wrong. I mean, that I think you're right that people, on both sides need to have some kind of training or conversations or think about what happens. But no matter what you do, at the end of the day, when your adrenaline and everything is pumping,
Oh
it just
yeah.
does things to you and things could go wrong. Unfortunately, I would say for sure, if you're in a situation like that, you need to realize that there's other people rushing into that, and
No,
like immediately you need to put away your gun, back out of that situation or whatever, because you don't know what could happen when people come into it. At the same
I
time,
think
a police officer coming into that maybe shouldn't be just reacting like boom boom, I'm going to start shooting at people here.
I mean,
It's just
there's
bad.
all kinds of multitude of things that are wrong. You can't place the
Hmm.
blame on all these people. But what I am saying is, there's so much that could have been prevented if people had more education,
Hmm.
people had more exposure, if we had more conversations and education when it came to firearms and how to handle an active shooter or a proposed active shooter situation.
Hmm.
Because, so one of the things that I'm pissed about, you're asking me what's going on, one of the things I'm paying attention to
Hmm.
is, within this year, I think 6 gun control laws have passed in Colorado. There's a couple of House laws, a couple of Senate ones, and one of them is a $3 million allowance of, guess whose money? My money, to open up an office of like firearm bad something prevention or gun violence prevention or something of that nature. So it's
Hmm.
like it's just more gun control. It's just another way to say gun control, right?
Okay.
So they have the state now has $3 million they're putting aside for to prevent gun violence. And let me
Okay.
guess, do you think that that has anything to do with education of guns
No.
or the
No,
handle
that's going
scenario?
to be used for political purposes to create more laws or support anti-gun organizations that already exist out there.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, yeah.
So
Yeah, that sucks.
things I
That
pay
sucks.
attention to in my news world. I
Hmm.
don't subscribe to news. I'm one of those people. It's like I don't watch the local news because it's just depressing. It's just it's just bad for your energy.
Hmm.
So I do a lot of independent news that I look at.
Hmm.
That I just have things that come up on my phone that are I have keywords that happen. Another thing that I was noticing today that I saw in the news is
Hmm.
some former NBA football player was caught, and I saw it on the Source. I'm not sure if you guys remember the hip hop magazine,
The
the Source.
source. Yes.
Yeah, five mics, all that
Yeah. My
jazz.
mom smiled when my name was up in the source. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually just met the
Yeah.
owner, the founder of the Source when I was in Las Vegas at my
Um.
hotel. So I thought that
What's
was
his
pretty.
name? What the hell is his
Oh
name?
shit.
I know
Mm,
who you're talking
mm.
about. Yeah, I know who you're
But
talking about.
he was on
Hmm.
Love and Hip Hop, and I was like, I've
Yeah.
never watched that show, never once. So I
Hmm.
had
Right.
no idea who I was talking to for 45
Hmm.
minutes in front of the radio. So
Uh.
literally, I had no clue why he was such a big deal until he was like, "You have no idea who the hell I am, do you?"
Hmm.
But on their website, on their IG today, they posted a former, I think, NFL star. I don't know if he's a former or not. Caught on video, either like her nanny cam or some cam in the house, where he just literally throws the mother of his child with the child in a little carrier on the couch into the TV. He's beating the holy hell out of her. And the headline was allegedly. I was like, okay. He was allegedly caught in a domestic violence situation where he basically beat the crap out of the mother of his child. So the
Yeah.
video shows him throwing her into the
I would like to
TV.
see some athletes taking the knee for that. Stop spousal abuse. Something like that. Do some nonsense like that, man.
Those
Take a
brain
knee on that
injuries,
one. Be brave.
uh, they really are. Like,
Hmm.
I mean, I'm not defending the Duke by any means. I mean,
Hmm.
guys like that
Hmm.
need to be dealt with.
Hmm.
I love street justice. I'm okay with it. I'll
Hmm.
sleep just fine knowing someone pulls his card somewhere somehow. The thing is, we glorify these people and
Hmm.
we cater to them their whole life and give them pats on the back, give them ways to get out of stuff because Lord forbid they're not on point for the game on Sunday.
Hmm.
Oh God, we don't need him, this and this and that. I mean, I've dated professional athletes, I've dated starting linemen, I've dated professional hockey players, I've dated professional football players, and it's I cannot believe the things that I've seen, and I
Hmm.
can't believe the things that they get away with and the entitlement. And it's like I'm not lumping all these guys up into one. I mean, good people everywhere, there's bad people everywhere. What
Hmm.
I'm saying is we give these guys these platforms to get away with violence for work. You think that they're not going to take that home?
Hmm.
And it's like, our culture, you hear these songs all the time, I'm gonna show you how to bag a 8 figure. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
This is like the mentality of women nowadays is like, get your hustle on by hooking up with a rich dude who has money, who plays sports, and have a baby up by him. Nobody's talking about one, have your own hustle, be an independent woman, be responsible for yourself and your own future. But secondly, these women are groomed to think that this is a great idea. They hook up with these guys and they get into these domestic violence, these severely abusive situations with these very, very abusive people, and they're like pretty much cornered. They don't have a way out. They have children with these men. They're in these men maybe are in control of their finances or how they're going to find a way out or where they're going to go after this. So it's like there's
Everything has
so
a
many
price. Everything has a price. You know
He
what I
does.
mean? And,
And
for everything that you want, be willing to give up everything that you have. So if you really
so
think it's that important to get with someone because of how much money they have, that's not your money, and you think there's not going to be a price to that, there's of course there's going to be a price to that.
but these are all social constructs that we're told. These are
Hmm.
all ideologies that we're
Hmm.
told that you should believe in and that you should go by, and that's part of our media and that's in our music these days. It's like everything's perpetuating abusive culture. And then they wonder why bad things happen. It's like, take a look around you. You're being groomed by the media in all different ways for these things to happen.
Hmm.
So it's like at some point, you have to shut it out and start thinking for yourself and start doing your own independent research and becoming um, more of a go-getter, more of a independent, educated thinker. Create your own questions and seek them out and get your answers, because you're not. If you look one thing up, you're going to get 8 different voices from 8 different media outlets, and they're all going to have an agenda at this point.
Yeah.
So those are the things that I've been looking at in the media lately.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
saw this. I'm going to bring this up here, real quick before we go on to other things. And I think Lola sent it over to you. Did you see the Newsweek thing about Donald Trump Jr.? I don't know if you. I
No,
don't know if so. Here, I'll throw it up on the screen. Largest U.S. bank cuts ties to conservative group canceling Donald Trump Jr. event. Um, so basically, what's happening here? So it says, okay, the country's largest bank has cut ties with a Missouri conservative group, forcing an event that has been set to feature Donald Trump Jr. to be immediately canceled. The December 3rd St. Charles, Missouri event featuring the son of former President Donald Trump was organized by the Conservative Defense of Liberty Political Action Committee. WePay, a payment processor owned by JP Morgan Chase, had reportedly been used to handle the event's ticket transactions until the arrangement fell apart. Defense of Liberty founder Paul Kurtman, a former GOP state representative, told the Missouri Independent that WePay informed him in a message that it would no longer do business with his group based on an alleged violation of terms of service, and had refunded $30,000 in payments already processed for the event. It goes on. So basically, they were going to put on this big event in Missouri. Donald Trump Jr. was the headliner, and there was this company called WePay that I've never heard of. I don't know if have you heard of WePay?
never.
Anyway, they were collecting the money from people. Then somehow, because it's a conservative event, people jumped all over that and said, "Oh, violations, violations! We can't allow you to use our platform to do that." Night Train says he works with J.P. Morgan Chase. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, and they cut them off, and a lot of this stuff is going on. Like, I've been banned by PayPal for life because I'm a gun guy, so I can't use PayPal.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So that's, and it's happening to a lot of people, and that's why I keep telling everyone we need to get our own stuff. It's not even,
That's
yeah.
and that's what we were saying earlier. Instead of everybody clamoring for the spotlight and everybody wants to be, Joe Gun Guy, there's a need for us to establish businesses in
Hmm.
this industry
Hmm.
to cater to our gun people, to our educators, to the people we need to get on research, to start founding our own affiliations to make sure that we have, one, outreach, two, education, three, financial ways to compensate ourselves or to get things done. Institutions that allow us to, legislate, and people
Hmm.
allowed us to lobby, things that are going to make us, a unit rather than everybody wanting to be Joe Gun Guy. It's like there's enough for us to all feed each other. I'm not sure if you guys out there in Utron land or whatever land
Utreon.
ever
Yeah.
read um the Divine Comedy of Dante's Inferno.
Dante's
So
Inferno. Uh-huh.
Inferno is it's a very, very long book. It's a very, very long read. But one of my favorite scenes from this book is talking about heaven and hell and the perceptions of heaven and hell. And so one of the visualizations you get when you're in hell is that everybody is sitting at this huge table as far as the eye can see with all the people that they love at this table, and the table is covered in the most extravagant and wonderful things you could possibly ever want to eat. But everybody has utensils to feed each other, or utensils to feed themselves, but all the utensils are too long so they can't feed themselves. So everybody starves to death and dies. That's hell.
That's a good one. Uh-huh.
And heaven is the same table, the same people, the same food, the same utensils, but everybody feeds each other and nobody starves and prospers. And that's exactly how we need to look at this industry and the changes that are happening in the Second Amendment community is like, we all have a way that we could feed each other. We have a way that we can help one another and support each other. If everybody could get out of their asses and get off their egos and realize what the greatest good here is and to unite, we have to lead by example. It's that time. It's the time to lead by example.
It's past that time. I think in a lot of cases it's too look. It's really too late by the time you see it coming. And this has been going on for a long time. But yeah, you're right. I think a lot of us, we're looking at other things. We are thinking about our own egos or just what we're interested in, and we don't care. Who cares about the finances or how people buy and sell stuff? I don't care. I've got everything I need, or I'll just buy it locally here or whatever. The reality is the 3 C's, that's how they're going to cut us off. These are the things that we need to thrive, right? We need to be able to communicate, right? And that's
comprehend.
This is what the platforms are, We need to be able to actually communicate with each other like what we're doing now, spread the word around Facebook or Twitter or whatever it is. We need to be able to community. We need to be able to physically get together, see each other, and do events and do things where people of like minds get to gather together, And we need to be able to do commerce. We need to be able to buy and sell things to each other.
Yeah.
In order for us to thrive. That's not just a gun community. That's any community.
That's all.
Yeah, all people. This is where they're cutting us off. Every day. Every single day it's happening to us. So, it's man. I think we're at the point where it's almost too late and folks just need to take some time and pay attention to this stuff and take some losses, step back. Sometimes you have to step back in order to move forward. Step back and look at the big picture of what's going on, because more of this is coming for us. And every single day we see this. Like in this year, we've seen a mega crap ton of this kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. And I mean, self-love and self-care starts with self, right? You have to be able to know who you are and know in order to know how you deserve to be loved, right? You have to have self-value. You have to love yourself, and society doesn't preach that. So sometimes it is important to take away, step away from social media, from, all the bus and the hustle that's going on in the world, and just kind of spend some time alone. I'm a hippie. I love nature. I mean, you can catch me outside literally all the time. I love to go hiking. I love to go fishing. I love to just be outside, and go do things of that nature. And I think people will get more in tune with themselves if they tune out TV and start tuning into self, start thinking about what it means to, enrich you. The best investment that you can make is in yourself, right? Mm-hmm. And you're leading by example. Whether you realize it or not, there's people that you don't even know exist that are out there in the world that are probably looking up to you, and you have no idea about that. Mm-hmm. I don't have any children, but I just picked up one of my best friend's daughters. She's 10 years old, from school the other day, last week, Friday, and, just had a nice day with her. I took her bowling. I took her to have spaghetti. We grabbed an ice cream. We came back to the house. We colored in color books. And, that means a lot to me, but what it means to her is astronomical,
mm-hmm.
right?
The whole world.
It really is. The fact that someone, an older person, an older woman that she looks up to takes a Friday night to want to hang out with her and do these things. And I remember we went to go get spaghetti. She wanted spaghetti, and we get to the restaurant, and we're leaving out of the restaurant, and there's a sign there that says, no weapons allowed. All weapons are prohibited on property, or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I looked at her, and I looked at the lady, and I was like, if I would have saw that sign, I wouldn't have eaten here. We'd have went somewhere else. And I was like, that's a stupid sign. She's like, that is a stupid sign. And we walk outside to the car, and I put her in the car, and she tells me, she's like, 'cause you have a gun, huh? Yes, I do. Right here, he thought. And I was like, and she goes, I know. I know you do. And I feel safe when I'm with you.
Mm.
And to hear a little 10-year-old girl tell me that she feels safe when
Mhm.
she's with me, that makes me want to change the world. It really does. And, she went home that night and she's chatting her ear off to her mom. And, I love her mom. And her mom calls me. She's like, boy, did you inspire this little kid? She's like, Mom, there was a sign in the restaurant that said that guns weren't in there. And you know what? She didn't care because she had one on her anyway. And I know that she's not a bad guy anyway. And her comment, this little girl's comment was, what are they going to do when cops go there? Are they not supposed to have guns too? What are they going to do if someone from the military goes there and they have guns? Are they going to tell them that they can't be there?
Mhm.
It's like, you're right. That's absolutely right. But for a little 10-year-old to have
Out of the
these
mouths
thoughts
of babes, out of the mouths of
comes
babes.
enlightenment, right? And so
Yeah.
it's like, that's my little Kita. Like the
Mhm.
fact that she knows that and she thinks that and believes in me. And they had a scare the other night. I guess their power went out, and they asked her mom said, hey, do you know how to call the neighbors or call so and so if something were to happen? She was like, I wouldn't call them, I'd call Alicia. She's like, well, that's cute. I was like, but maybe we should have some protocols and some things in place to have her understand, like, if something were to happen, what do you do, honey? Like,
Mhm.
how do you keep yourself safe? Because it's about your safety, and I talk to my friends about this all the time. Like, when we go out, do you have a protocol that you and your friends follow? If something were to go awry, if something bad were to happen, like I ask my god kids, do you know where the car is?
Mhm.
If we were to get separated, do you know where the car is? Do you know how to get in the car? Do you know how to, call the authorities when we go
Mhm.
here? Do you know where? Can you tell me where you could see a first aid kit?
Mhm.
Just things that working with them about their situational awareness. And it's like, when you have these young kids around you and you can start teaching them early about how to value themselves and how to have independent thought and speak your mind, that's really all it is. Because she's going to grow up with the impression and the confidence to know that her opinion matters, that her voice matters. And she has strong female leaders that she can look up to. That's like, yeah, I want to be like them. Like, that means the world to me, man. It made
Yeah, it
me
really
even
does.
here,
Well, you
It's
know
like,
what it
yes.
is? I think the powers that be out there just want these kids dazed and confused. They don't want them to know any of those things. They want them to turn to the government for those kinds of answers.
Warm
Yeah.
and fuzzy.
Mhm.
That's why the music is the way it is these days, is
Mhm.
because our music nowadays is garbage. It's absolutely garbage. It's not art anymore. It's
Mhm.
junk. It's junk food for the brain. And we were talking about rap music because I love hip hop. I love hip hop culture. I love
Me
all
too.
that stuff. But rap nowadays is trash. Like,
I
toss
saw
that
that.
shit.
So actually, my barber. I got my haircut yesterday. My barber called me after, and I was like, "Whoa, what's up with him? Did I not pay him or something?"
Yeah,
And he was calling because young Dolph got killed. You know,
I don't even know who that is. I
that's
know
a
people
that's a
said
yeah, it's a rapper. He's
was
you
a
know
rapper or something, and I was like, that's cool, but
yeah,
I don't know who it is. I want to
I've
hear
heard
he
I've
died,
heard
but
his music. Yeah, I've heard his music just because let me see if I could pull up an article on Young Dolph since we're talking about that. But
when he
yeah,
died,
huh?
like someone shot him.
Someone just ran up on him and shot him. You know, um, in Memphis.
Damn,
You know,
damn.
what is this? Oh, Memphis
Was
police
there?
are asking people to stay home in the aftermath of the fatal shooting of rapper Young Dolph. I think this is not the first time he ever got shot. So, they're worried about things getting crazy out there. But this is I'm surprised that still at this day and age, I think he was involved in some different beefs, and he's been shot before, and these things have gone back and forth, and it's not a new story, right?
It's new
Same
to
old
me. It
story.
may not, but I don't know, like, what the reasoning for it was. He bragging on money? Someone just had a grudge, something like that.
I
Is
don't
that what
know.
it was?
I've heard his music and stuff like that. So, but I don't keep up with what the young dudes are into nowadays. But I think that it was probably just some ongoing, huh?
Me either. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
he was shot in a cookie store. I mean, it says right here, the 36-year-old rapper whose real name is Adolph Robert Thornton Jr. was fatally shot Wednesday inside of Makeda's Butter Cookies in Memphis, authorities says. The owner of the cookie shop, Maurice Hill, told Fox 13 that someone drove up to the business and shot young Dolph before fleeing the scene. No arrests have been made. So that wasn't like a robbery or anything like that. That probably...
Oh, that was a hit. That was straight up. Like, someone was like, homie's in town. This is where he is. Roll up on him. Take him out.
So it says here, the rapper's cousins, Moreno Myers, told the Daily Memphian that young Dolph was in town visiting an aunt who has cancer and was set to hand out Thanksgiving turkeys at a local event. You know, I hate to see all this stuff happening, you know, and I think that we get distracted with stuff that's happening. Like, people say, right now there's people saying, oh, get distracted by this Rittenhouse thing, even though this is all white people involved in this. This somehow illustrates how white men could do whatever they want and get away with it, and no one spends time looking at the fact that a lot of times these people are killing themselves. You know, in the black community, we're spending a lot of time killing each other. It's got nothing to do with the other man. It's your brother man that's taking you out, you know?
It's, I mean, I know how people are like, oh, being distracted by Rittenhouse. There's other things like, come on now, we're complex chordates. We have the ability to pay attention to more than one thing at a time. Like, let's be real here.
Yeah.
The Rittenhouse case is very, very important. If you're anyone who cares about freedom, you should be following this case, because this is going to change the way freedom looks from this day on. This will have extreme effects for days to come on how this turns out, because this is not just an attack on Kyle's rights. It's basically an attack if you have a right to defend yourself. And this is about self-defense. That really is what it's about. And I think people need to get out of their feelings and look at this objectively and say, okay, what's the big picture here? Because it will affect all of us. It affects every American, everybody in this world right now, because of what our liberties are being up against, right? With just what happened. And I mean, all these memes, all these people talking shit. It's like, okay, some things could be funny. It's nice to have a laugh. I crack jokes all the time. I can't take anything seriously sometimes. I'll make fun of everything. But, there is a time and a place. Like, let's get real here and let's hunker down and let's be active on how we're handling this and how we're portraying ourselves in the media, because people are looking at us too.
Yeah.
People are
by the way, LV wants you to camera up a little bit. I don't know. That's what he's saying. He says you're out of frame. There you go. Boom. Yeah, he wants to see the full picture. I don't know what he's up to. I don't know what he's doing over there. Here, I'll give him just there you go. That's for you, LV. I hope you enjoy that. Yeah. Yeah. Just soak all that up. Enjoy what you're getting out there. That's it. That's all you get. Yeah, I agree with you.
Shout out to dude. Right on. Thanks for all the love.
He says that's better. Okay, listen. Let's we've got maybe like a minute or something here. Can I show one more thing I brought out here?
Yeah.
And then we'll wrap this up real quick. This is something I'm very proud of this, actually. So this is a Henry. Oh, how did the camera go to you? It's supposed to go. There we go. So here, this will give you guys a hint of what this is. Can you see that? 1,000-man shoot.
That's dope.
So I was at the 1,000-man shoot, and this is actually the 1,000-man shoot. I don't know if you remember this, Alicia.
There was like a plethora of people there.
Yeah, it was like 1,000 people shooting at one time out in Arizona, and it was put on by Henry Rifle, and everyone was shooting the same gun.
People, I need to know more about these events.
This was a couple of years ago. Everyone was shooting the same gun, and this is the gun that I shot. So at the same time, at one time, everyone shot this one gun. See there, it's inscribed 1,000-man shoot. Yeah, Henry, big boy, golden boy, 22. This is the gun. I actually got my gun. And I have it, and it's one of my coolest possessions out there. And I love showing this off to people that I was part of the 1,000-man shoot. Big up to everyone who was out there at the time, who was part of that. And I hope Henry does this again. This was such like such a fun thing. If you guys if you look up Thousand Man Shoot, you'll see there's lots of videos and stuff like that, and lots of folks
I love
out there.
cool events like that. I wish people had more events where we would get together and just,
Yeah.
kick it old school and bust some caps and roast some weenies and, talk some smack. That's
Yeah, I'm
fun.
not letting you roast my weenies. But yes, I agree with you. We need to get together and have fun more often. I totally agree with that. Okay, so listen, let me see. It's really tight here in the van, so I'm gonna try to put this over here to the side. There we go.
That van, dude. That van's pretty wicked with.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's fun. It's fun having the van. I got like all kinds of things from that time. I have all kinds of little things that help me remember that time. Okay, so listen, we're past 9 o'clock here. Fun, fun times all around. Whenever I'm hanging out with you, time goes by really fast.
Oh yeah, I'm so entertaining.
You are. Yeah, I think you're entertaining. Yeah, absolutely. I think the people out there agree too. I'm glad we got the video and everything fixed here.
Hey, I'm glad that I'm on this new platform with you. That's super cool. Thank you for letting me be a part of it. That's awesome.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks for coming on here and joining us. So, Alicia, the BoomStick Babe, tell these dudes and dudettes out there if they want to follow up with you, follow you on social media, communicate with you, or whatever, support you. How do they
hit
do
me
that?
up on IG, guys. I'm the BoomStick Babe on IG. At the BoomStick Babe. That's me. I have a website, boomstickbabe.com. I have a link tree associated with my IG. Pretty basic stuff. I'm just a loudmouth chick from Colorado who likes guns and does what she wants to do. So thanks for even just supporting and giving me an avenue and allowing me to have a voice and spending your night with me. That's so great. That's such a compliment to me. You have no idea.
Oh, it's fun, man. Like I said, I always have fun talking to you and stuff like that, and I think people enjoy that too. So that's why we have you here. So, let's do this. I am going to roll in the end. Lola wants me to remind everyone that, by the way, the Blackout Coffee. She says right now, have you checked out the tasty new holiday flavors from Blackout Coffee? New flavors plus holiday gift ideas are available now, and you can use the code, what is it, BFCM21 for 21% off, site-wide, and plus free shipping. This is from Lola.
So this is a different company from Black Rifle Coffee Company.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's not Black Rifle Coffee. It's Blackout Coffee Company, and there is a code. There is a code here. I'm trying to see if I think Lola's probably got it in the chat, or she's pasting that in the chat, or you could hit us up, or I'll put up something there. But check out Blackout Coffee Company. They've got a lot of cool stuff going on out there. I would recommend everyone to do that. Big thanks to Walther for sponsoring the show. We really do appreciate the folks at Walther that have always looked out for us here on the show for a long time. I'm going to run in the end, and I'm going to come back, and Alicia is going to hit us with words of wisdom. Cruiseman says he's following you on IG.
Awesome. And don't be shy, guys. I'm just an average everyday gal. Reach out, say what you want, engage, ask me stuff. Create a network. Let's.
Yeah, I'm gonna monitor your DMs, man. I'm gonna see what kind of sliding up into DMs is going on with you.
I'm not that cute, guys. It's not that important.
Yeah. Okay. I think people are making up their minds. They're making up their own minds here. Stay right there. I'm gonna roll in the end. We're gonna come back.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us here. It's been a fun show hanging out with Alicia, the BoomStick Babe. Make sure you go to hankstrange.com, as well as we're going to rip the audio out of this and throw it up on iTunes and all your other favorite places to get your audio podcasts from. Alicia, what's your words of wisdom for tonight? What you got?
I'm going to have to give a shout out to my favorite dead uncle who's somewhere in the universe listening to this. Love isn't love unless you give it away. I said that to Lola earlier. If you got love, spread it. Give it. Show love, spread love, be love to people. Love yourself, love the people around you. That's the way that we unite. That's the way we get together. That's the way we break down barriers. It takes away everything as the power of love. So love isn't love unless you give it away.
Awesome.
Make sure you share it with your neighbors.
Amen. Amen. And by the way, tomorrow we've got the guys from PSA, Palmetto State Armory. Those dudes are going to be on the show live tomorrow from right here from Utreon. Big thanks to Alicia, BoomStick Babe. We are out of here. Thanks so much, Alicia. Stay right there. I'm going to end this right now. We're out. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Alrighty. And end it right here.